Today, we're talking about property taxes and this new push in Florida to get rid of them completely. There's a real effort by Governor DeSantis and some of the lawmakers to wipe out property taxes in Florida. Now, on the surface, that might sound great. I mean, who doesn't like the idea of no more property tax bills? But hang on for just a minute, because if you think that means more money in your pocket, we need to look a little bit deeper. I think it's a bad idea. Right now, DeSantis and a few folks in the Florida legislature are floating this idea of phasing out or getting rid of property taxes altogether. Property taxes are what fund your local services: schools, fire departments, police, roads, trash pickup, parks, libraries, all that. It's what keeps your town or county running. You take away property taxes, and it's like pulling the rug out from under everything your community depends on. Now, the big pitch is that you'll truly own your home if you don't have to pay property taxes anymore. Sounds nice, right? But that's a little like saying you can stop paying for gas and still drive across the country. If we get rid of property taxes, all that money has to come from somewhere. We're talking about tens of billions of dollars that pay for the basics. So either they raise other taxes like sales tax, or they start outsourcing local services to private companies. Here's the kicker. You cannot vote out a company. You can't hold a private contractor accountable when the trash doesn't get picked up or the roads fall apart. You can't show up at a town meeting and tell them to do better. They don't answer to you. They answer to shareholders. And that's a whole different game. So let's be real about this. Once services go private, they don't come back. At first, the state or counties will say, we're just contracting out to save money. But pretty soon, those contracts grow, prices go up, and quality, it goes down. It's already happened with prisons, hospitals, and even some school systems. Imagine trying to call a hotline because your road hasn't been paved in months, and the person on the other end, they don't even live in your county. You might be speaking with a customer service representative in India or the Philippines. They don't know squat about your neighborhood. They don't know squat about your city or your county. This is what privatization looks like. It's less local control, less transparency, and more profit for shareholders. You think taxes are bad? Just wait. For homeowners, especially retirees or folks on fixed income, this might sound like relief. But if you save a couple $100 on property taxes every year and then end up paying double that in higher fees, worse roads, fewer public services, is that really a win? If you rent, you're not off the hook either. Landlords will still raise prices because they're paying for all these new private service fees. It all adds up. This really isn't about taxes. It's about control. When we pay property taxes, we have a say in where that money goes. We can show up, we can speak up, and we can vote out the people who make those decisions. But once those services are handed off to private companies, that power is gone. So if you think your local government ignores you now, just wait until it's run by a corporation that doesn't need your vote or your approval. So yeah, getting rid of property taxes might sound good in a soundbite, but in real life, it's a disaster waiting to happen. We don't need to blow up the system. We need to fix it. Make property assessments fair, cap increases for seniors, bring more transparency to where the money goes. That's reform. Getting rid of it completely, that's just trading accountability for chaos. You know, there's an old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Stop for a moment and ask yourself, who really benefits if we don't have property taxes? I believe I know the answer. It's not the people who pay taxes. So, what do you think? Would you rather have lower taxes or more control over your community? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you in the next one. And today we are talking about property taxes. That's what we're talking about today, because people hate them. They don't like them. They don't want them. Nope, they don't. This is what privatized